most women, when I talk to them who have started a company, they will mention things that they experienced because they were a woman walking into the room. You're walking into the room with your partner, who's your husband, who also owns the business, who's a man.
Mhm.
Does that change anything?
So that's an interesting question because when we first started the business, and still we work very separately. We run two different divisions, and I purposely kept my maiden name, which has been a joke throughout our entire family, just because we were a small business and it didn't want to look like mom and pop. So at times it was great. We're both on the same mission of growing our business and raising our family. But I think as women leaders, sometimes we don't put ourselves first. And we are out there, just trying to be everything. And that was the one nice thing about having my husband as a partner because he would recognize that and support that. Where maybe other leaders are, wouldn't have had that.
Yeah. So let's talk about that feeling you had as a working mom. Um, do you have examples of times where you felt guilty?
I remember being on a board. I was on a board of other, independent benefit firms, and not there weren't, owners. There were a handful of us that were women, and I showed up for a board meeting in Chicago, and my daughter was singing a part in a choir performance that she had never sang before, and I was so disappointed about missing that. And it was right while we were in the board meeting, so I couldn't even watch a video. And a few months later at another board meeting, a male counterpart of mine said, I'm not going to make the meeting. My son's going to be playing in a baseball game. Now his son probably played a billion baseball games. So she only sang in that part once. And that's when I realized, like, I shouldn't be afraid that I'm a female saying I can't make it because of something with my child. Those times are so precious, and people understand. No one would have been judging me. I was judging me.
That's so true. Okay. So you place a great importance on employee wellness and also on philanthropy. How did that start? Where did that come from?
Right, right. When I was born, I had a sister that had Down syndrome that was older than me, and my family really gained from the help of others. We did not have the means to pay the tuition for her school, and there, at that time, it was, there weren't a lot of options. And St. John of God, which is a school, they're, I think, celebrating their 60th year this year, allowed my mother to volunteer, and I was in tow as a toddler while she volunteered for the tuition. We just know that they couldn't have done that without the support of community and corporate partners. And as recently we've adopted our daughter, she's 4 now, out of the foster system. I watched 2 states and many state agencies and nonprofits support her for the 8 months while we waited, for her to arrive. And without their help from corporate sponsors and volunteers, she would have, not had that, the ability to have this safe experience until she was in our arms. So we are committed to supporting our community, and that means, anyone in our area, our clients, their employees, our employees, and anything that's any part of the community that's important to them.
That's amazing. And you also do that for your employees.
They are what makes this organization strong. And when they have something that they're passionate about, we're there for them. But also, I've learned just by offering them the opportunity to participate in a volunteer activity, it's helped them. We came through COVID where mental health was, very difficult. We also have employees who had, situations with, family members with dependencies and other, stressors in the family. And I'll watch when they show up at an activity and they're enjoying being able to give back to others. And we'll get that feedback like, hey, it just really reset my, my mental health to take a moment and know that I could lend someone a hand who's in feeling more lost than I felt at that time.
Great information. Thank you so much, Terry.